अब कश्यप की तो शादी हो गई, बच्चे भी हो गए अब.
How can we say कि शादी होगी, बच्चे हो गए? It's the end of a life.
No, end of great storytelling in terms of like what people need for a good story to make. Then you'll need Mia Bivi ke beech mein jhagda, or you'll need some kind of, you need a plot twist. You can't just have them being happily ever after, because that kind of gets boring. Log hamesha kuch na kuch bolenge. They'll always have something to talk about. They'll always have something to pick on. They'll always find some nitty-gritty. Ye nahi to ye. If you look at some of our Pakistani content, there have been some very bold, always has a negative connotation, but there have been very female-centric, female-empowering roles that we've already portrayed. I mean, we have Irani actors playing Pakistani actors in like The Night Of, or you have all other races playing Pakistanis, except for Pakistanis playing themselves. I don't have the answer to this. I'm just as curious as you are.
Sanam, so good to see you, and it's a very important occasion that we are speaking to you on. We've just watched Qatil Haseenaon Ke Naam, and what an amazing series that is. Yes. What was it that actually drew you to the script? What an unforgiving woman. She has a way to get things done. And we really loved Zuvi. Actually, we loved Sanam playing Zuvi. So what drew you to this project?
Meenu, I always like working with female directors. I think we don't have enough female directors. So that's always a yes when you hear that a female director is directing it. Then also not just any female director, you've got Meenu, who's done very interesting work before. I like her quirky sense and take on things usually. Thirdly, this was shot in the times of Corona, so work was very valuable at that point. It was also interesting because it was just one episode. Each one of us had to do one episode, which is interesting. You don't have to then drag it out over many episodes like you have to in a series sometimes. So I think there were just so many plus points. There was an anthology. There were 7 other characters, women playing these roles, that they were the lead of each episode. So it was hard not to do it.
And your character Zuvi, she's an artist, and I heard you say this in one of the interviews that your mother was an arts teacher, and she would actually show a lot of enthusiasm, in taking kids to different classes, whether it was pottery or basically to give them an understanding in how things are created. So were there any lessons that you drew from those instances, while you were prepping for this character? Because I could see a lot of similarities. Were there anything? Because your father was also in a similar domain, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, interior designing, but I think I get the acting bug from my father because he's a closet actor. But interesting that you put it that way. Yes, actually, I was never very good at art myself, but getting my hands dirty is something I do very well. So if I couldn't perfect the pot on the pottery wheel, or get the right curve in the matka or something, I would end up making plaster of Paris poses, or doing something or the other, or making figures for kids, or like my favorite storybook figures. So I didn't have the finesse to make something very clean. But as you saw, Zuvi's work was also not something great.
Yes, and your characters, bold, beautiful, badass. Were they, are these the characteristics that we also associate with Sanam Saeed? Because, I've gone through your social media, Sanam, you've been always vocal about your thoughts, whether it was news incident, whether it's about, domestic violence bill not being passed, whether it's, just your urge, to raise sons well so that women are treated well. Have you ever been at the receiving end for being yourself, Sanam?
Hard to do that when you haven't experienced any of that before, or I've been on the receiving end of any such behavior before, but neither any backlash for being supportive. I think when one is supportive and stands up for a cause or gives a voice to the voiceless, you're always appreciated is the word I'm looking for, but you're always efforts do not go away. It does make a difference. It gives someone support. It gives someone a sense of a feeling कि कोई है मेरा सुनने वाला है, or someone that you can turn to, and I think that's really important. Support in those times are always important.
Okay, Qatil Haseenaon Ke Naam is also special for the fact that it deals with homosexuality. I mean, it's not really a theme that's new to Pakistani content. But we've seen that it has in fact created uproar in the country, just because how bold it is, and at times also depiction of female leads. We've read those instances. We've gone through news items. So are you also expecting a similar reaction, maybe backlash from certain groups for your series?
I think log hamesha kuch na kuch bolenge. They'll always have something to talk about. They'll always have something to pick on. They'll always find some nitty-gritty. Ye nahi to ye. So if there's a problem, there'll be a problem maybe in any aspect or none. But I think even the most kosher of plays or dramas or films, mein koi na koi nitkit to nikalte hain log. So I don't know if there's a particular pointer like, oh, this will definitely be controversial.
एक और बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सीरीज थी चुड़ैल्स. I mean that wasn't our everyday Pakistani television show. It had a very bold content, and I think women across the world over, especially women who watched it, were really sort of lauding the artists and of course the makers. But again, it was sort of criticized by a lot of people. But do you think the show actually gave a boost to the rising feminist movement in Pakistan? Did it really play that crucial role?
I don't know. I think Asim and Shailja were bold enough to take the step as both creative heads in their own departments. But if you look at some of our Pakistani content, there have been some very bold. Always has a negative connotation, but there have been very female-centric, female-empowering roles that we've already portrayed. This was just another badass way of showing it, where you took up to that next level, which you can't do on national television anywhere, be it this side of the border or that side of the border, because family television time is just always controlled because it's family television time. So OTT platforms anywhere, particularly in the South Asian subcontinent, has the freedom to be more expressive. And so I think this was the first time that we had been given that opportunity to do something on an OTT platform where you could show the other side of feminism or a new take on female empowered women. So I don't think it was the first step in terms of showing roles like this, but it was definitely the first step in showing this kind of way because of the OTT.
We were loving Pakistani content because, the way it's breaking new grounds and, it's smashing stereotypes. And very interestingly, they're putting very strong women at the center of the story. What else do you think Pakistani content needs right now? I mean, अगर हम Money Heist देखें तो अब वहाँ पे भी Pakistani characters आ रहे हैं. Squid Game में, we've got a Pakistani character, but दोनों ही characters Indian actors ने निभाए हैं. So what, according to you, why this divide? Why can't a Pakistani actor play a Pakistani character? Does that sort of bother you? Do these things bother you at all?
That beats me. I have no idea. I mean, we have Irani actors playing Pakistani actors in shows like The Night Of, or you have all other races playing Pakistanis except for Pakistanis playing themselves. I don't have the answer to this. I'm just as curious as you are.
All right. But are you happy about the fact that we have Pakistani characters in such important shows, and it sort of gives recognition whether it's been played by a Pakistani origin actor or not? Do you think it actually brings some recognition to actors, even if not?
No. I think our shows, the work we're doing ourselves individually as Pakistani actors by Pakistanis in Pakistan, when that work is put on the map, like Churels or Qatil Haseenaon Ke Naam, or this other one that I've just done with the same maker of Churels, or our films, I think when they get recognition, when Shoaib Mansoor Saab's films get released and they get recognition, I think that puts us on the map, and that feels a lot more, gives you a more sense of accomplishment than somebody playing or putting the token Pakistani character in something. No, that doesn't feel very good actually.
Okay. Achha, now OTT has sort of, expanded opportunities for actors across the world. How has OTT helped monetarily, actors in Pakistan? Has it really brought in the financial success that actors usually want?
No comment.
Do you think, okay, let me put it like this. Do you think that, women and men, or male and female actors, yeah, are at par because of OTT?
We were always at par. I think women in Pakistan have always been in the leading role in terms of financially. The women have been on the better end of the payroll because the dramas are female driven. Because we release in our films and they've been female driven, we have, and television is ruled by women. So we actually have, and films have just recently taken off, but for years, for decades, we've been doing Pakistani television dramas. So on that way, we've never had to face that kind of discrimination. Our film industry isn't big enough for us to have faced that kind of inequality either. So with OTT platforms, is there more of a sense of equality, you asked? Yes. Again, so far, the ones we've done have all been female driven. Churels is all women, Qatil Haseenaon Ke Naam is all women. So far, the stance is still the same. But maybe as we progress and go further, we can have that discussion.
And my last question to you, कश्यप वापस कब आएगी? कश्यप को तो ले आओ, जिंदगी गुलजार है का we can get season 2. कब आएगी?
That's what we don't do. We don't do season 2 because अब कश्यप की तो शादी हो गई, बच्चे भी हो गए, अब क्या
अरे ये कैसे हो सकता है? ये कैसे हो सकता है? How can we say कि शादी हो गई, बच्चे हो गए, it's the end of a life?
No, end of great storytelling in terms of like what people need for a good story to make. Then you'll need Mia Biwi ke beech mein jhagda, or you'll need some kind of, you need a plot twist. You can't just have them being happily ever after because that kind of gets boring. So I don't know if a part 2 can happen, but maybe she raises her daughter to be a certain way, and much later there's a part 2 where Kashyap and Zarun's daughters, twins, have a story to tell.
Imagine 2 Kashyaps, we could actually see in daughters. 2 spectacular, actually 3 spectacular performances then from you, Sanam. You could be playing the mother as well as the daughter. Now, what an amazing story that would make.
Oh, that's bad. That's interesting.
But wow, it was really lovely speaking to you, Sanam. I mean, you've always been vocal about your thoughts, and we've always respected you for what you stand for. And I think your opinion really matters to a lot of women who are watching this interview, and of course, those who follow you on social media. So thank you so much for your time and having, share your thoughts. Thank you for your time today. You take care.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.